What's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, September 30th, 2019. I'm going to jump into the Bitcoin charts for all you replay viewers. Before I do, I want to preface this. In this video, this is not financial advice. This is my approach to the market. This is my view from over here where I sit of Bitcoin and what's going on in the charts. So take it for what it's worth. Take the data, make your own decisions. I just want to throw that out there. So let's jump into the charts. Let's see what's going on. In particular, I want to talk about Bitcoin's next move. We've had solid retracement, which is extremely healthy in my opinion. Bitcoin, in my opinion, putting in its next higher low, which is very important for the continued uptrend, the continued growth of Bitcoin. And I want to talk about that, right? And I want to talk about what that move looks like. And if we do put in a higher low, what that bounce looks like. What is the resistance off of that bounce? So for a very brief overview, a zoomed out picture real quick, just to paint the picture in case you missed it, we have this area of Bitcoin, right? This happened, we use Fibonacci retracement, resistance, support all throughout Bitcoin charts. This is zoomed out in the cycles of Bitcoin, the long term, right? We have this Fibonacci retracement we've been talking about a lot that Bitcoin had coming out of the last bear market. We have it similarly just recently out of this past Bitcoin bear market. We've bounced off of it similar to last time. We're coming back down just above the 50-week moving average, similar to last time, right? So there's a lot of similarities in terms of Bitcoin and what it's doing, just trying to continue with these cycles that it is in, right? This takes patience for Bitcoin. That's a zoomed out picture. Let's jump over to the weekly chart. One thing I just want to point out to you, we talk about the momentum of Bitcoin, this RSI. If you look in the middle of the screen here and we open it up, right, we talk about below this 40 line. Bitcoin, just perfect illustration of the bear market, right, in terms of Bitcoin momentum. Below this 40 line on this RSI momentum oscillator. Here's that last bear market, 2015. Here's this previous bear market that we just went through. We want to stay above the 40 line. That's simple. That's the most simplest thing that we can look for, right? You can see it coming out of that bear market 2015, coming back down, testing the 40 line, and continuing uptrend, right? We're getting a very similar move. Here's that Fibonacci retracement that we just looked at, resistance. It's okay, right? So we want to look at this. We want to take this momentum data potentially, and this is what we want to watch. This isn't definite, but we want to see support above this 40 line, right? So potentially this could be a higher low for Bitcoin on the momentum oscillator, as well as just the charts that we're looking at price, right? Moving over to the daily chart, this is what I want to talk about in this video. I want to talk about the 200 moving average, number one, and then number two, the resistance that has a lot of confluence just above the 200 moving average. So first, let's look at the 200 moving average. You look at the last 4 or 5 days for Bitcoin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago, breaking through the 200 moving average. It's very important. It's the biggest thing I'm watching right now. We're away from the 50 moving average, so that's not the biggest thing I'm watching anymore. I'm watching the 200 moving average because now we're getting in that territory, that bearish territory. We know resistance below the 200 moving average, this pink line. Here's some resistance back in May 2018. Here's resistance in July 2018. Here's resistance in August or September, right? That's in the bear market. That's what you see in a bearish environment is resistance at the 200 moving average. I don't believe we're in the bull market yet. I've been saying that. I don't believe we will be until we break $16,000, that Fibonacci retracement. That is a doorway to the bull market, this 618 to 786 Fibonacci channel. We're not there, right? So right now we're trying to define how out of the bear market are we? And I believe we are strongly out of it. And right now putting in a higher low for Bitcoin. But right now we really got to keep an eye on this daily chart, this 200 moving average, because we don't want to see resistance there. Resistance there could really bring us down to, I think, our next target to the downside, which is around $6,500. I'm getting $6,500 simply because if we go to the weekly chart, it's a key area for Bitcoin in the 50-week moving average. It's around 6,700, right? So I could see Bitcoin continuing downside. Extremely oversold at that point. Unbelievable accumulation area. I don't know. I'm not even going to say if I think we're going to get there or not. Time will tell. We certainly could, right? Especially in this Bitcoin environment. And I just want to say, if we do get there and Bitcoin's at $6,500, what does this look like? I mean, not long ago, we were at $3,100 or so, and this could be an extremely strong lower high, or I'm sorry, higher low for Bitcoin coming back down and continuing an uptrend, right? You just have to have patience in this crazy volatile game of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So going back to the daily chart to continue what we're saying here, keep an eye out on resistance here, the 200 moving average. If we get continued resistance, that next move, another leg down, could be in play, bringing us down to that 50-week moving average. This is the daily chart, but 50-week moving average right around here, right? In which case, I believe we would get a very hard bounce back up. So that's on the downside. But on the upside, what we want to look at is if we do break above the 200 moving average, it will be great. We have a lot of resistance ahead of us, right? Namely, we have this symmetrical triangle we broke out of right here. We have these lower highs, these higher lows we broke out of down to the 200 moving average. So we always want to revisit a pattern that we've broken out of, namely a trend line, right? So in this case, it's the lower trend line. We always conservatively want to say, okay, let's see if Bitcoin retraces to that trend line and let's see what happens there. Will there be resistance? So if Bitcoin did make a move to 96, 9,700 here, will Bitcoin see resistance? That would be not good, right? That could be continued downside, another scenario for revisiting into the $6,000, right? And putting in another lower low. So keep an eye on that first resistance area, but all above that, right? We have Confluence 50 moving average in that area just above right now. And so look for key resistance there. And since we're in the apex, we also have this upper trend line of the symmetrical triangle, 10,600. I know it sounds like it's far away, but it wasn't long ago when we were at $10,000, right? We can get there very quickly. The key isn't, are we going to get there? The key is what happens when we get there. What happens if Bitcoin gets a nice little move, a nice little run, and everybody's bullish again? What happens in that key area? And right now, that key area is only 20% away. We all know that can happen so fast. A move for Bitcoin, that can happen so fast, 20% move. And the question is not, are we going to get that move? Just be prepared for it. It can happen. We can get 20% to the downside. You know, at the end of the day, it's 50-50, everybody. We can look at the data, but we just need to be prepared for either scenario, right? So look at your own situation financially, do whatever you want, whatever you're comfortable with in terms of taking these risks. This is high risk. But the question that we want to watch for, and this will really give us a gauge on how bullish we should be, is what happens when we get here, right? So with that being said, if we do get to this area, if we do get this 50 moving average at 9,900 or, you know, this lower trend line at 9,700, if we revisit that, if Bitcoin breaks above that, that will be extremely bullish for Bitcoin. That's when I think the tone could change in a justifiable manner, right? So if Bitcoin makes a move like this and we're breaking through the apex of this triangle now, right? And we're at $11,000 and then maybe we're getting a short-term consolidation and we're seeing support there. Now we're looking at a busted symmetrical triangle where Bitcoin doesn't hit its full target coming to the downside, right? And we actually get a busted triangle because then we have a really strong target into this Fibonacci retracement area. It's a bullish target. And this could be what kicks off the bull market, right? This entire scenario I just mentioned could take time. This could take months, right? I know it looks zoomed out on the chart like, oh, this is happening all quick and, you know, within a matter of days. But right here, this move right here that I speculatively drew, right? This alone is towards the end of October. And this could be so much slower, right? This could be in November. This could go to December, a move like this. So this whole thing is up in the air, but the data is so consistent, right? Like, and I think we use consistency of these charts not to be able to predict anything. I never want to sit here and say that I'm trying to predict anything because I'm not. But what I am doing is I'm finding consistencies in the movement and the cycles of Bitcoin, and you really see it on the zoomed out charts of Bitcoin, especially this weekly zoomed out chart. Look at the consistencies. Look at the pullbacks and the resistance and supports that we see, right? They're just there. And so if we didn't get a move, like the move that we have right now, this if I can get my price range, if we didn't get this move off of this Fibonacci retracement and we get this consolidation of 40 plus percent, I'd be more concerned actually. This makes me feel really comfortable with Bitcoin and what it's doing right now, this 40% to the downside move, because it's consistent. It's what always happens for Bitcoin. If we're not getting that, then you were in an environment where Bitcoin's just way overbought. If we broke $20,000, you know, when everybody wanted it, Bitcoin to keep going back in June or July, we'd be so overbought, everybody, and Bitcoin would come crashing down, right? We want steady growth. And it's what happened in the last bull market before it started. We had the similar resistance at the Fibonacci resistance area. We came down 40% or so, and then it was a continuation of Bitcoin. So, and again, that was a higher low being put in for Bitcoin at this area. Same type of thing happening now. Will it be at this price range that we're at right now, a little bit above 8,000? Will it be 6,500? I don't know. Just be ready for anything. So those are the things I wanted to talk about real quick in this brief video. This is a live stream, but I'm keeping it short. It's Monday, everybody. I got to get to work. I got to do work over here. But I wanted to just give you an update on Bitcoin and what's going on, what I'm seeing. But yeah, this is it. This is what I'm really watching right now. It's all this area. The 200 moving average, first off, this pink line, is Bitcoin going to break above it? I feel it's very important. If you don't want to see Bitcoin go to $6,500, we really need to see Bitcoin break above that 200 moving average on the daily chart right here. And then from there, what happens in the apex of the symmetrical triangle confluent with this 50 moving average? Let's watch. Let's sit back. Let's see. I'm not here to tell you what's going to happen, but we can certainly watch it together and make our decisions based on all of this content and data that we have. If you're here right now, you're in the chats. Thanks for coming by. It's Monday, 12:47 Eastern. I appreciate you coming by, hanging out. If you're here and you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you as part of the channel as we grow this thing, and hopefully soon knock down this doorway to the bull market. Exciting times for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I'll end with this. A word that says Bitcoin and Litecoin hash rate continue to put in higher highs and higher lows. It's a direct illustration of steady, healthy, and mature growth of the network and network security. With probably less than 1% of world population even using Bitcoin, this is only the beginning. And I just posted a couple snapshots. You see Bitcoin hash rates just continuing to grow, right? And this is the beginning of what it looks like, the network. Litecoin, same thing. We've come down, of course, but this is what it does. You look at hash rate historically, you look at price historically, they come back down, they consolidate, the markets, the networks, they grow, and it's steady and it's healthy as of now. So we can continue watching things like that. But we'll see what happens next. Appreciate you all coming by. As always, I will see you in the next video. Have a great day, and God bless.